All right. Hello, everyone. This is Rafa. I'm a dev role in iterate.co.io. And today I'm going with Percival. We will take this live stream just to show you the 5 most important tips to build with REPL.it and to build an ED app. So, Percival, do you want to say any word before we start?
Hello, everyone. I'm Percival Lucina. I'm a blockchain engineer at stay.code.io, and I'm here today together with Rafa to build on REPL.it. It would be a pleasure following you with you guys.
Great. Awesome, Percival. So, as you hear me, we will use Replit and we will take an idea from the community just to build. And in the process, we will I will give you the 5 most important tips to build an ED app and how to use also on how to build and how to create any smart contract in Kodi blockchain. So let's start with the first step. The first thing you need to know to build any app or any the app or any project you want to create for your startup or for anything you want is design the flow before you build, right? Why is this important and what is the meaning of this? Well, you need to know which tool you will need to build your project and also what is the flow for the UI and for the UX experience and what's the process that the user should use and what's the correct flow for the project. Okay, so I will start using a easy and a cool tool called it as Excalibur. um, Here you can make note, you can draw your flow and you can draw anything. So let's start with this one. So I just first of all, okay, before we draw, let's choose a community idea that we will to build. Um, so if you go to stay.code.io, in the footer you will find some ideas that the community submitted, and you can also vote and upvote any idea. So let's start with maybe at the app. Um, okay, there's a lot of ideas. So I will choose this one, a private mint, confidential NFT hub for Kodi version 2. So here's the description, and that's it. That's what we want to build today. So it's basically a privacy first NFT marketplace concept built on Kodi version 2. And that's it. There is a lot of description here. So we can make it easy just trying to uh, use it as a prompt with ChatGPT and with Replit uh, in the following steps. All right. So as we know, it's a private NFT marketplace. Let's write a title here: private NFT marketplace. And as we know, there is a front end. All right, that is the UI that the user will see. Okay, and behind the front end, there is a smart contract, of course. Okay, as we can see, it's a NFT marketplace. So basically, it's a private ERC721. All right, this is behind the UI. So how we will connect this smart contract to the front end with a client? The client is usually in a backend sometimes, and but also you can create a client into the front end that is calling the smart contract. All right. So let's say that the client is here in the front end. Okay. And this is connecting like this way. Okay. This is a simple flow. And what else we should take care in this flow? The user will use his MetaMask. Okay. So MetaMask is an important role here, that when the user call, let's create something here, user, when the user wants to call the front end, is actually first calling MetaMask, okay, and then MetaMask will call the front end that is actually calling the client and is interacting with the smart contract on the with the private ERC 721. So this is the simple flow we should follow, and let's define which tools we will use into this flow. So basically, with smart contract, as you know, is in Solidity. We will use Cody blockchain 2 of testnet, of course. And the tool where we will use for this live stream just to build the smart contract and also the front end will be REPL.it. Okay, REPL.it for actually all the front end, the smart contract, and also for the deployment of the smart contract, we will use Remix ID. That is an editor to deploy and to compile the smart contract in Cody blockchain. What else? The front end we will use React. Okay, maybe Tailwind. I will make sure about this in REPL.it.
And maybe Cody Ethers.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Cody Ethers. Cody Ethers is, as Percival said, important library that will connect with our smart contract with private stuff. That's it. But MetaMask is actually an extension in browser. Okay, so this is our flow. As you can see, there is a simple flow here with tools that we will use, and that's it. That's the first step that we will need to build the app. Okay, so that's it. We will use REPL.it as well. So let's keep moving. Start small, ship fast. So what is the meaning of this? You should build something, or you should build an MVP first to show how it's working, and with that beginning process you can improve your own app or your own project, just trying to choose any features or trying to use ChatGPT to how to improve your app or whatever. So let's start with the smart contract. All right, let's go to REPL.it. Basically, when you sign up to REPL.it, you will find this screen, but REPL.it do not take or do not how are you gonna say that? REPL.it for default you cannot create a smart contract, so you should take a template from Solidity to create your own smart contract. So I will teach you how. You go to the menu in the left side and you will click on templates. You will search Solidity or Solidity, and there is some templates here from TheraWeb, but let's choose the first one. Solidity starting beta, and let's start with this template. Okay, this is a quick tour. That's it. All right, here with this template we can start to create our own smart contract, but let's start with other AI so important into Cody blockchain, because as you know, Cody is a private blockchain, so there is libraries that we should use to create private smart contracts. So let's go to docs.cody.io and let's ask to the AI to create a private ERC 721. That's it. Create a private ERC 721 smart contract. And let's go what is the result of this AI. All right, this is a simple smart contract. Okay, but in the description of this idea is that it should be an NFT marketplace. So let's just say that create or actually improve the smart contract to create a private NFT marketplace where users can purchase NFTs. Okay. Why I'm using this AI, I'm not REPL.it AI, because this AI from docs.cody.io is actually indexing all the info and all the examples for the libraries of Cody to create the private smart contracts, and is actually improving our own projects. So yeah, create it. Oops. Create that smart contract.
So you don't have to give any Cody context. It's already all there. The latest updates.
Yeah, there is like examples into the documentation here, and also examples of how to create a client to call these smart contracts. So it's so helpful, this AI. So okay, there is a lot of challenges, maybe because my prompts are not well built, but let's improve my own prompts just to with this, taking this one with main function. That's it. So yeah, let's quit again. And that's it. We have our smart contract here. As you can see, it's actually using this Cody IO Cody contracts library, where inherit our private ERC-721 smart contract into this contract. All right. So that's easy. We already have a smart contract here. And we can also try REPL.it just to see the difference.
Raf, yes, to create an NFT, you just need to extend the NFT class. It's something really simple, right? That the AI agent was able to do. Now, in order to create a private marketplace, you need somehow a mapping that would map all the addresses of the users to the private NFTs that they own. And I'm not sure if the Code AI agent was able to accomplish this task when you ask.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That so we will need a second smart contract how that is mapping, as you say, uh, all the NFTs to create that NFT marketplace. So what's the other tip or alternative that we have? So it's improve that prompt with ChatGPT and use that result to maybe to use the docscody.io AI or the REPL.it AI. All right, just taking care about that. We should use NPC core library and any other private library from Cody. So let's do that. Okay, so we will at this moment I will use ChatGPT and I will say create a prompt. Let's say you are you are a you are a expert blockchain engineer in Cody blockchain. You will create a private NFT marketplace smart contract using maybe private libraries. Okay. Let's see what ChatGPT have for us. Okay. At the moment, I'm not creating a prompt. I'm just creating directly the smart contract with ChatGPT. Let's try it with this one. And also create a prompt to use it with REPL.it. Okay, we are retrieving this smart contract. We will try it in Remix, by the way.
And is your impression that it's building this because you worked with ChatGPT before in a Cody context, so it has some idea about you as a user, or did it scrape this?
That's a great question, Robert. Yeah, ChatGPT have has already the idea of MPC core because I already used ChatGPT to create smart contract, and I already given the context of the docscody.io documentation to create my own private smart contracts. So if you has not indexed it, or have you not um, asked to ChatGPT or given any context of Cody, you will not receive something like that. So let's make sure that you are give some context, maybe the link of docscody.io, or maybe like an example of how to use these private libraries like this smart contract just to retrieve a better result. Good point.
Yeah, we can see that it's trying, maybe not right, but it's trying to keep the price of the smart of the NFT private, but the ownership is public, right? So that's what ChatGPT has created us, and we need to validate the smart contract to make sure it's gonna work or not.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, we retrieve these results of this smart contract, but let's copy this prompt and let's start using with Repl.it just to see what is the result here. Um, as Percival said, we will need two smart contracts. We already have one, so let's deploy and let's compile and let's see how this works in Remix. Okay, I will go to Remix IDE, and that's it. I already have Cody blockchain installed in my MetaMask. Also some tokens. All right. So let's create a new file. I will call it as nft.sol. I will paste my own smart contract. I will edit this smart contract just to make that accepts more of this than this version. And let's configure our compiler. Let's We always need to choose this version or below because Cody is with the Paris VM version. All right. So this is the version we always should choose, and that's it.
So you're not using the Qt extension to compile. You're using the
No,
standard
yeah,
remix
I will
with
I will
Paris.
use the Cody plugin, but this is like the first step just to make sure that your smart contract is well configured. Uh, because you should your smart contract should be able into the Paris VM version with the version with this specific version that is out to out.8.19. So yeah, this is like the beginning or like the introduction as you want to call it. Okay, let's apply this smart contract changes. Well, we will give us a preview, but it doesn't matter. This is the result of Repl.it of our private NFT marketplace. So as we can see, there is like a struct of the listing with the address of the seller, with the address of the NFT contract, because this, as we can see, this marketplace can accept any other NFT contracts. The token ID, of course, of the NFT contract. This is interesting because it's using a type um, of private libraries from MPC Core, and also all the other stuff, mappings, and some events that um, will be actually we can see it in the Explorer when the user is interacting with the smart contract and drops these events. A constructor, some functions. So that's it. Looks great. Looks great. We will try from the smart contracts, keeping from ChatGPT and also from Remix. Okay. So as we can see, we already have this smart contract and this marketplace. But the thing here, as I can see, is how is listing this any private NFT into this smart contract. So let's check. This function is called as function list NFT. There is some comments so helpful for any user or any builder that say list an NFT for sale with encrypted price. That's great. Um, but maybe we don't want an encrypted price because it will be public, right? So let's see.
Yeah, the main thing of this NFT marketplace is that besides you having the private NFT contract, the price you paid for the NFT is private. The ownership is public, but the price is private. That's what makes this a private marketplace.
Yeah, exactly. The I don't know if any user of the the user of the community that dropped that idea into say the Corridor, maybe wanted a private NFT, maybe only wanted a private marketplace. I mean, maybe he or she only wanted the NFT details encrypted, but the marketplace will be public, right? With the price or everything, but the details like metadata or actually any any other detail of the NFT will be encrypted. By the way, I will.
I do like the idea of a private auction list.
Okay, that's okay.
Based on time, yeah. But maybe that's for another stream. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's make it that we will say to REPL.it that take an example that this is the private NFT and just improve. We will improve these smart contracts, giving this some context. This is the
Making the price private, public makes it's really easier and less error prone, Rafa.
sorry. Say it again.
Making the price public will really make the context the contract simpler, and we're gonna have less
Yeah,
errors.
yeah. Okay, that's a good. That's fair. Maybe let's say that the marketplace should be public, accepting the private NFT. Okay, so that will be the prime. I will write that this is a private smart contract, ERC 721, and I will paste it. That any user will use to list into the marketplace, into the NFT marketplace smart contract. This smart contract will be only public. Let's say. Okay, we are improving this smart contract, and in the meantime, let's install the plugin manager. Let's search Kodi. Let's activate, and that's it. So easy. There is a faucet. If you have not balanced, just make sure that you are going to Discord and taking or claiming some tokens of testnet. And that's it. This is the Kodi plugin for quick start steps. Faucet, onboard, compile, and deploy, and interact. So easy. There is not a lot of context there. And yeah, let's see the changes here. Okay, this is shorter than the other one. As you can see, it's actually taking the private ERC 721, and that's it. Mint, batch mint, but no, this is actually creating the private itself at another smart contract. Anyway, I will go back to the other smart contract because in this smart contract actually created an NFT, but we already have. So anyway, let's copy this one and let's create another file, calling it as marketplace. That's all. Let's then paste it. As we can see, there were some issues kind of being heard from. Okay, it's actually we can use Remix AI just to figure it out what is happening here. Hmm. Okay, so this is actually the issue. It says that cannot inherit the library MPC core, which cannot inherit from any insolidity. So I will copy this issue and then paste it to REPL.it and say, hey, the private NFT marketplace has this issue. I'll then paste it. Just let's wait to solve it. And in the meantime, we can deploy our private NFT. Okay, so how you can deploy this NFT? So easy. You compile it and you select my private NFT. That is the name of the file. Sorry, the name of the contract, and this is the path of the file. Just deploy it. We'll call MetaMask. Let's confirm. That's it. We already have deployed it. And selecting this option, interact, we can see our own smart contract where anyone can mint their smart contract and interact with any function of execute a call, any function of this smart contract. So let's see the result. Okay, cool. This is the result of this smart contract. So let's see if it
Yes, it
works.
fixed. We can see it fixed some errors. It was an inheritance error on is MPC core, and it removed it. So
Yeah,
it was able to fix at least a few of the errors. Let's see if it can fix it all.
Okay, yeah. So let's try it. Let's try it with this one thing. Okay, they say that should be abstract. Let's ask also to Remix ID. Remix AI is actually cool because it's giving you a context of what is happening, of what is the problem when you are trying to compile uh, this smart contract or any smart contract you paste.
Yes, and it's running all of these problems because you are trying to make your price private, right? If the price were public, you wouldn't have any of those errors.
Yeah, that's true. So that's why we will leave that smart contract and let's make another smart contract only for public price on any other public function and future and variable for this smart contract, just accepting our own private smart contract. So let's say that I will copy this and let's try on now with ChatGPT. This is my private NFT. Now create a NFT marketplace where users can list their own private NFTs. Let's see.
So that would be a public, as in a public listing for the open.
Yeah.
With the not encrypted.
Yeah.
Values.
Yeah. But like, I don't know why ChatGPT is just taking care about our with confidential prices. So let's improve our own smart contract and let's say this smart contract. Oops. Should be public. That's it. That's how we improve our.
But if MPC core is given as a resource and the context as well from documentation, that should suffice in connecting it, right? To be able to use it.
Yeah. I don't know what is taking as a context the MPC core, so that's why it's so important that prompt engineering, that how we to build our own prompts. That should I? But yeah, that's right. No, this is like the meme that when you want a result, but ChatGPT is giving another result that you are not expecting. This is me, or this is us at this moment. But yeah, always happen. This is normal to use. This smart contract should be
Yes, in order for ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude be able to generate smart contracts on code, you usually have to give them some examples of work in the smart contracts, so they can know how MPC Core and other Qt extensions work. Uh, you can
yeah.
see that ChatGPT makes lots of errors, like saying that the smart contract is MPC, it's not a class that is extendable and such.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah. That's why we just should always improve our own prompts. Um, for example, I said only use Open Zeppelin libraries because now Open Zeppelin is like the big uh, um, project or company that gives to the community libraries to create your own smart contract, and it's using actually the interface of ERC 721. What's the problem with this? If we go to our private smart contract, it's using Cody contracts, and if we go there and we look for into this smart contract, let's see if it's using this interface that is true. But let's make sure always that your smart contract is compatible with the other result. Okay, so as we can see, yes, it's using actually Open Zeppelin libraries, is using this interface as our NFT marketplace. So it's good, it's fine. Let's try it. Good. And let's go to marketplace. Let's delete the smart contract. That's it. Specific arguments for Mark. Let's ask also to Remix AI. Okay, you should have a constructor, as he say. I see. Okay, this is, let's say, constructor ownable. Um, I don't know. Let's say that. Yeah, this is the solution. That's it. Okay, what did I do here? Actually, I use this smart contract to, because this smart contract is expecting as a parameter an address that will be the owner of this smart contract. That I will be the owner. All right. So that's cool. We already have some functions here. That's it. We compile. It's already configured in this version. And okay, let's compile and then deploy this public NFT marketplace. Confirm. Good. We already have our own marketplace. So let's make sure that the main function of our private smart contract works. So I will use my address of this smart contract here and make a transaction, or make sure actually execute. Okay, it says that it already works. So let's prove it. Let's go to testnet.codiscan.io and let's go to the address of the smart contract and let's see all the activity. So we can see there are two transactions. The first one is or actually the deployment or the contract creation, and the second one is a token transfer to my address. Okay, let's see the details. So easy. There is not a lot of to say here. Just to say that the token ID is the 0 for this NFT. Okay, and let's go to the NFT marketplace. Let's try another actually a function here. Let's say that is asking as the first parameter the NFT contract address. I will paste it. The token ID. As you can see, I received the token ID 0. And the price. Let's say that I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is not approved. Okay, maybe it's because we should approve in the first smart contract. Let's approve to the second smart contract to manage or to interact with our own token ID. So the thing we will do is we will copy the second smart contract address that is from our marketplace. And let's say that we will approve to this smart contract to interact with the token ID 0. Okay, let's confirm. That's why this is the issue. All right, we already approved. And then let's try again this function. Okay, this is still giving this issue. So let's go to the function list NFT just to look for what is happening. So this is an external, so any smart contract user can call. It has a require that the price should be more than 0. Is declaring this interface as NFT. Required an NFT owner of this token ID should be the owner, and it's approved for all. From this, okay, let's look for that function approved for all. Okay, this is one. Let's try that function set approval for all, and let's say true. And let's make sure that this function is actually working. How? We will look for that function. As I can see, this is a view function that is not execute, also only callable, is here. So the owner, that is my address, has already approved for all to the operator that is the second private or the second public NFT marketplace address. So let's call, and it's called it as true. So this requirement is actually expecting that is true this function. Okay, so let's go back and let's try again this transaction. That's it. Wonderful. Already work. And what else? It actually emitted an event. Let's try if we can cancel the listing, and we can also withdraw and other stuff. We already have a function to buy or to purchase that NFT that I already list. That is the token ID 0. That's it. The thing that I do not see is a function where retrieves all the listed NFTs. Or maybe it's actually this mapping, I will call it. Yeah.
Yes, the mapping. You can look at the contents of the mapping.
Good point. Yeah, exactly, Percival. Thank you.
Did we specify how to list it? As in that they should be?
If it's public, right, you can view it.
Yeah. It's actually this.
True,
yeah,
true.
This mapping and retrieves all the details of this smart contract. So cool. Wonderful. Congratulations. We already built 2 smart contracts of our NFT marketplace. What's the next step regarding our draw in Scottrilla? So this is check. This is cool. I will say it green. Cool. No, this is cool. I already deployed it. Let's go to the front end using REPL.it. Okay, we will to REPL.it, and I will create another project here. Okay, so what's the next step? Um, Actually, I will create a prompt to Repl.it just to create a decent marketplace because I want to retrieve some details given from ChatGPT with all the context that have from internet. Okay, so create a prompt to use it in Repl.it for my NFT marketplace in Cody blockchain, in Cody testnet blockchain. What I'll create a prompt using Repl.it for my NFT marketplace in Cody testnet blockchain with a navbar where users connect their wallet and onboard their account. And that's it. We will have a prompt.
So they should scrape all the public listings and put them nicely in something like an order book.
Yeah, I should say that to ChatGPT to create that prompt. So yeah, that's true. But let's say if ChatGPT give us that thing, yeah, actually has the main three functions, and this function that we will say that is actually the mapping. And so let's say that yes, it's actually added this listing. But at the moment, we are just trying to build a prompt to create the UI, and then we will take care of any parameters that will call the client, that will call the smart contract. So, okay, that's cool. I will copy, I will paste in Repl.it. Oops. Hold on. No, I will pause it. Why? Because in the answer of Repl.it is saying that this is the RPC URL and the chain ID of Cody Vim testnet. Thing that is not true. Where we can find all the details, all those details. We will go to docs.cody.io and let's go to where is it? Let's go to networks. Is it networks? Yeah, maybe here. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Percival. It's here. This is a table with the details of all the network details. So we will use it, or we will use this AI just to give me any details that my AI should have to create a NFT marketplace. Front end. Give me details of this network. So this AI will give us some information with this table of details of our testnet network. So that's it. We already have this, and I will use all this info just to make sure that it's using into this prompt. Okay, so I will copy again this prompt again. Then I will use it, and let's replace all these details right here. Okay. Oh, damn it. Let's pause it again. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, I will paste it here, by the way. And then copy these testnet details right here. Oops. No, not here. Let's try the comments of this part of the smart contract. The thing I want to edit is only the prompt, right? It's only that. No, no worries of anything I'm doing. You can do that with your notes, but I'm doing here. It's not a big deal. That's it. And then we will cut this prompt, and then we will use it in REPL.it. That's it. If you have any questions, you can drop into YouTube comments, and Percival and Robert will take care, and we will help you if you have any trouble just doing this.
Same for the Kodi Discord and Telegram chats as well.
Yep. Okay. Click on approve and start. I didn't find that button. But anyway, I will copy again this, and this is start another project because I don't know what is happening there. Just start building there. And that's it. Vibe coding life. Okay. Would you like me to proceed creating this mug NFT marketplace front end, or could you prefer to develop actual blockchain companies at different environments? Only creating marketplace front end.
Does it need the details about the address where the contracts were deployed, so the front end can call it?
Yeah, I can do that, but that's actually the third tip. Thank you, Percival, to refresh my mind. That is actually the third tip that I have for you guys. That is break features into the atomic task. Why? Because if we give a huge prompt to the AI, maybe the AI confused with the huge information that is given by us. So the thing is that I'm doing right now is breaking features or breaking prompts to receive atomic task. As we can see, I'm creating first the UI. The second prompt, maybe I will create the client, and the third one maybe is like maybe keynote testnet or something else. So that's actually the third tip that we have in this live stream. Okay. Okay, let's see. It's actually initial planning. Then the agent says, agent can work on this task after the initial version, integrate actual Aether's Web3 functionality. Let's say yes. Connect to Kodi testnet blockchain, yes. Implement the actual. I don't know because this has not a context of my smart contracts that I built. So that's it. I only select those two. I approve. So okay, let's create the expecting UI. And then
Talking about
sorry.
I was going to say, talking about visual previews, I wanted to compliment you on your Excalidraw designs. Yeah, it's a nice tool.
Yeah, exactly. Oops, I have some notes there. So yeah, I will use. I actually will break another prompt specifically for this library because we should see some examples and something like that. We can look for some examples of this. Kodi Ethers GitHub. I don't know because here appear some examples into this README. And well, actually goes to docs. It doesn't matter. Here. No,
You
this is the
need
wrong.
code ethers if you're gonna say anything about the private NFT itself. If it's only gonna list them and transfer that,
Mhm.
you might not even need code ethers because the NFT marketplace itself is a ethers only.
Yeah, that's a good point, Percival. Yeah. Okay, so that's why we should go back to study the smart contracts later. Just take a view of the preview. As we can see, this is a marketplace. This is an offer that I expected that you can connect. So let me go to an external browser because I want to have it in a second window. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, but I cannot interact with it. Oh, okay, it's still working. Sorry, Replit.
So it's still generating. I mean, like the yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. This is still generating. So, all right. In the meantime, let's study this smart contracts that we have here and look for if the main functions that we will use to create our client into our front end are private functions or public functions. How we will find that? So let's go to marketplace. First of all, to the NFT, and as you saw, the flow of a list of the NFT is going first to this function that is set approval for all to this operator is not a private function, then go to a second function that is actually calling this view function that is if it's approved for all to that operator. That's true. This is not a private function. And let's go back to our private NFT marketplace. That is this address, this function, sorry, that is list NFT. And this is not a private function. So yeah, that's true, Percival. Maybe we can use actually only ethers and that's it. Ethers version 6. But let's wait. Actually, it's a good marketplace, by the way. Look at this.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Could you explain the dependency there, Percival, as in why it would only work if we include ethers?
Yeah, sure, Robert. So every time that we are working with private information or private data types, we need the go to ethers extension enabled. Since all the functions are public and they do not, and the NFT marketplace itself doesn't use private data types, uh, ethers itself would suffice.
Good. Good.
There's also about the thing about the things being public and other people being able to manipulate your marketplace, but
Hmm.
we didn't go deep into that.
Hmm. Something I can see is the active listings. Actually, we have not a function that retrieves all the NFTs listed because if we remember, actually, the marketplace, the mapping is actually only retrieving the NFT that is the ID of the parameter because if I write the zero token ID of the NFT, only retrieve the details of that NFT specifically, but there's not a function that lists all the NFT listed on this marketplace. So I will go back to this marketplace and create this function later, but just let's see the UI. Okay.
Yeah, you need to connect now the UI with the listing function of the smart contract in the right address, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have show the results that are stored on the market NFT contract.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, what we can do here is just copying this smart contract and then go to, oops, where is it? Here, and say this is, or actually as a function that retrieves all the listed NFTs into this
Yeah, make
smart
sure
contract.
to add the address where this smart contract is deployed so it can do the proper connections.
Yeah. Absolutely, with REPL.it, absolutely will. Um, so okay, we'll create this smart contract, this function. That's it. Okay, I will copy this function and then we'll copy to the this smart contract. Oops, sorry. That's it. I add this function. Let's see how is it going the UI. Okay, take her actually 10 minutes, but looks great by the way. I will open in a new tab, and that's it. Okay, yeah. So Robert, will you see something? Say something.
Oh no, but I was wondering if there's a difference because you're using a paid plan, but I thought you using a starter plan before.
Okay, no, I have no plan in in Replit. Actually, I'm using the free plan. So we will use a few prompts only because I have not many tokens. But yeah, if any user, any of you builders want to create a better UI, just using Replit and have many tokens to work all the night, all the day with Replit, just like make sure that you are contracted Plan Pro. But at the moment, I'm using actually a free plan. But yeah, that's it. As we can see, this front end is actually giving us navbar. Maybe okay, it's actually connecting, or this is hardcoded. No, this is a hardcoded button. So this is the first thing I will change. This button, I will say connect wallet button should connect to MetaMask to Cardi blockchain. That's it. That's the first thing. But let's explore the UI. Um, this is how we can list our own NFT for sale. First of all, accepting the NFT contract address, then the price, and then the token ID, and giving some metadata here. And but let's see if those parameters actually are into this function. That is not. Okay, it's not in the function we are expecting. Is only accepting the NFT contract address, the token ID, and the price. So that's the other thing we will change. And also we will list all the NFTs retrieved from this function. So in the meantime, this is working, adding our own button. Let's deploy a new smart contract for this marketplace. So I will delete this smart contract and I'll deploy the new one. So I compile, then I select the contract and then deploy it. Let's confirm. Okay, then the thing I will do here is minting 2 or 3 NFTs just to test. I will mint this one. Second one. and a third one. Okay, I actually receiving the first, the second, and the third token ID of those NFTs here, and then I will set approval for all my NFTs to the new smart contract address. So I will go to the set approval for all. The new operator is this smart contract, and I will say true. Okay, cool. Great. Let's check that it's working well. And it's true. Okay. Now I will list all my NFTs actually here. I will say token ID 1. I will say this price. Okay, the first list. Then I will change it and I will say the token ID second is with this price. And let's say that the token ID, the third token ID will be with this price. Cool, I will confirm it. And let's check that this function is working. It's an external view. It means that any MetaMask user can see this and is here. Okay, cool. It's giving us a tuple of all the NFTs that are listed in our marketplace. Okay, so that's it. Sorry, it's giving us an array of all the NFTs. So cool. We already completed this smart contract. Let's see how is it going our DApp or our UI. So let's go there. We will connect. I will choose MetaMask. Cool. It's actually connecting. Wonderful. 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 And then let's go to build our client. Okay. Create a client that will call the following smart contract deployed on Kari testnet blockchain. Okay. And we will copy this one. Oh, okay, but I was forgetting something. In the first smart contract, we should take care that we are calling the set approval for all smart contract. Okay, so how if we go to Xcoli draw, I was missing something. That let me delete this text. That the user when call MetaMask is actually called the front end, but it's actually should actually call the function, or actually is great, but this I will delete this. This client is actually calling the functions of the smart contract. The first smart contract is actually calling to set approval for all, expecting the NFT marketplace address, and then the second step is calling the second contract that is NFT marketplace. That is the function list NFT. That's it. Expecting only 3 params. Okay. Those are our steps once the user connects to MetaMask. So let's say that in our UI should say something or should block this button once the user set approval for all to the main NFT marketplace contract. Okay, so I will create that prompt that it says block list NFT button until user execute set approval for all, and I will paste here the contract address. That is this one. True. With a new client file that you will use to interact with the smart contracts. Okay, and once user already approve it, unlock the list NFT button. Okay.
It's quite a hefty prompt.
Yeah, exactly. Um, okay, I will add a context that is my smart contract. That is actually this one. Oops. Oops. How do I say that? Attach file, visual editor. Um. Anyway, no worries. Let's say that. Then we will wait that result. But we're ready. We almost finished. No worries. This is so cool. So yeah. I don't know if you want to add any comments, Robert and Percival, about private stuff or Cardia blockchain.
Well, we actually
Doing
had a stream earlier about how to create private NFTs. In case you're wondering how to generate them. Of course, you did one here as well.
Cool. Yeah.
But that was like from scratch, from the beginner to start them. So, and now we're actually putting them to use. So.
Yeah.
And this part of the integration with the UI and the blockchain is always the tricky one.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We should know about how we can get more information about that. Well, I recommend like this AI because she's actually giving all the information of Cody, Cody ethers and Cody smart contracts because he's actually, as I said, taking all the information into the documentation and giving to you the expected results you you're waiting for now. So okay, it's actually still working. As we can see, is creating uh um well actually it's not creating a new file, but let's say no, it's actually only working with the components, by the way.
Yeah, it's adding functions to list
Yeah.
and get listing.
But it's actually I think using oops. This is smart contract. Yes, it's cool. But alright. Oops. I forget about onboarding thing. We do not need to onboard our account at the moment because, as I said, we are not expecting to execute any private function at the moment. So we will replace that button for, I don't know, maybe the set approval for all function. That's it. We completed this marketplace before 2 hours. Okay, let's go to a new tab. Just try to test it. That's it. It's actually okay. I need to say something. It's actually not onboarding our account. It's actually approving or actually executing the set approver for all function. I think we have toasters here. So cool. but I want to prove if it's actually executing that smart contract into the blockchain. So I will go to the address of the new smart contract and go to activity and go if it's actually executing that function.
Nope.
Nope. Or maybe it's still, isn't it?
Is it pending?
No. I don't know, where is it? Uh, or maybe it's because actually my address is already approved, so I should not to execute again. No, but that's not true because it's actually calling that function. So okay, I will say that is false again, just to try my own account as a new user. I will say false, or actually unapproved to this operator to manage my NFTs. And then I will mint a new NFT because all my NFTs has been listed on the new smart contract marketplace. And let's go back. Let's onboard. But no, look, it's only a signature. It's not like uh, a transaction confirmation. Yeah. Should call the function set approval for all with the address I gave you and true as second param. You okay. Let's explore it. I will give a feedback here. The thing I want to see is actually the code because I want to configure and create a new file. So I will go here and I will see if I can figure out how to open my code. Okay, no. Okay, it's here. We can see server and we can see that are some scripts here. Client, source, hooks. Okay. Add a file. I will call it as client.ts. And here in client is not okay. Here create or actually call to my smart contract. The to execute set approval for all function and connect with onboard account. But I will change the title of that button because it's wrong later. And expect, and that's it. Well, I think only that. But we will need to use the provider. Three things: a provider that is actually the signer or the user signer that will execute that function. The second one is the ABI. That ABI is actually the result of the compile of our smart contract that give us in a JSON all the functions, all the mappings, all the variables, all the parameters expected in the function. And the third one is the address of the smart contract. So let's give uh, that um, that
And you can get all of this information from Remix, right?
Yep, exactly. So let's copy the API of the first NFT and say here, this is the API. Okay, then choose the signer or user's wallet and use this address that is on Cody testnet blockchain. Okay, I will copy my NFT smart contract address, and that's it. Okay, cool. AI will write this client file, and that's cool because with Replit you can create and you can interact with all the code provided for him, and trying to explore any other file that you can find here. But let's wait. Okay, accept. It's actually okay, cool. But I will say that only use no, this onboard is wrong because he's expecting like we should use the onboard from Cody, and it's not like a function at all. Operator approval. Okay, so I will go back here and say use the user, the connected user signer to execute all functions into client.ts file, and change the name, or actually we can do that manually. What else? That's it. I will go here and I will look for the button that I don't like the name, that is on board account. Can call it here. Okay, no worries. Let's wait that. Just execute. Well, anyway, it already did. Okay, this is the new file. Okay, cool. It's getting the signature. It's red. Okay, cool. Cool. Set up for all. Okay, so wait. Cool. Perfect. Okay, let's go to our last tip. So use reusable components and templates. It's actually I did not do it directly into these prompts with Replit, but it's meaning that you can use some UI libraries or actually smart contracts that the community already done. Um, I use a famous library for UI that is cool. It works with all AI that is called as Chat CN UI. This is a free UI library for companies to create your own any other UI front end project. And here are actually is giving you already companies and blockers like dashboards, like tables, like playgrounds, like authentications, and all of that. The same thing you can look for smart contracts, for backend stuff, and for any other thing that you may look for your own project. Okay, so this is like the last prompt we will use. So we already create our client that is calling these two smart contracts. That is the marketplace and the NFT, and that's it. There is not much to make it. So it says, how does the blockchain integration work with for your wallet? Can you test for a work? Okay, let's see. If it's working out, let's go to our preview. Okay, no worries. Number account. I will sign. But no.
So it does the human factor to check
Yeah.
if you're unique.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now,
It's because it can't integrate with the browser, Robert. The agent does everything he can.
exactly. For approve and execute. Okay. I'm giving this other prop because it's actually, as you can see, expecting a signature, but I actually want to execute the set up referral function. All right. So, okay, let's go it again. What is this one thing? Cool. This is so powerful, right? In the next month, maybe AI can create your projects maybe with only one prompt. But this is the magic of AI. It's actually all the time improving itself and improving for all the ways, all the front end, also to smart contracts, also to back end, also to information researching things, a lot of things. So okay, it's actually calling out this prompt. There is something missing that we also should call to the marketplace smart contract, but let's wait. We are not rushing. So I will go to my marketplace smart contract and I will copy my ABI of this second thing. Okay, and that I will use with REPL.it just to call the listen FT function and also to get a listing, all that stuff. But we will wait.
Life of a vibe coder.
Yeah, like a vibe coder.
Waiting. Yeah.
That's it. That's it, Robert. We're vibe coders now, just working with AI tools. Okay, there is our result. We will try it. And let's go to approve. Okay, cool. There is a model where we can approve to any NFT contract address that I can give. I will say that I want to approve to this to this contract. Cool. It says our status. Provider is not valid ERC 721 contract. Okay. Why is this error here?
Because the private, if it's a function on the private NFT, it's not an ERC 721, it's a private NFT contract, right? If you're trying to call a function from the private NFT, it should use code ethers. If you are trying to call anything from the marketplace, like listing the NFTs, code ethers itself will suffice. So if you can approve anything manually on Remix, the list part of listing the NFT should work.
Yeah, that's something that I should check because it's like it's not approving at all. But I need to see which one thing exactly. So, I would say that I want to say the approval overall. Or no. I think it. Um, hold on. Oops, I deleted that one. No worries, I will. If you do something like that I delete my NFT contract, I just will go to my address, okay, and then with the compile result of this NFT, I will go to my private and I will load this contract, and that's it. I already have my NFT here. But yeah, there's like an issue here. Contract address.
Does it feedback why?
Yeah,
I don't see.
it basically says that the contract you are calling is not a standard NFT contract. So whenever it's not a standard NFT contract, it should use code ether.js instead of code ethers. So that's why I wouldn't want to interact with the NFT itself and only interact with the marketplace, which is a standard. It's a standard Solidity contract, and you shouldn't have any problem listing the NFTs.
Yep.
But
So I will copy the ABI of this second smart contract.
and the second smart contract is a standard Solidity contract, although it lists private NFTs. It's a standard Solidity contract, so AI should know how to handle it using standard Ethers library.
It just can't display the prices when you look it up, right? Or the contents, I mean, in this case. The
Yeah,
contents.
you won't list the content, you won't list the address.
Yeah. So, okay. The thing I'm doing is how to solve these troubles that maybe sometimes appears. But it's not bad at all right? Because we can improve all the time our project, our front and our smart contract, anything with more prompts and giving more context about our smart contracts or our logic. Okay, so yeah, as Percival said, we just try to check and to improve this model and this function. So that's REPL.it what is doing now. And okay, cool. Let's wait. Hmm. We can see all our conversation with REPL.it and the preview. Mhm.
If it persists, could it be worth it to have it checked by another engine? If we give it enough context first.
Yeah, we can also use another AI just to check that. Uh, so yeah, we can also improve with other tools. But there's the thing: the approval system is not ready. Okay, let's check if that's true. Approve. No, it's like saying something else. Uh, 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 uh.
It basically says that it doesn't know how to interact with your
Mhm.
NFT smart contract because it's a COTI smart contract and it's not a standard Solidity smart contract.
You'll say, uh, perhaps, but I don't know. I'm not seeing all the background here of the logic that is expecting this. But as I can see, it's actually this function that is setting approval for all. This operator, and let's approve it. That I would say that is true. Anyway, and I will delete this parameter. And or actually not. I won't delete it. So the thing I will do is manually just look for the component that is calling this function, and it's here. So yeah, that's it. Cool. Yeah, I see something. Uh, oh no, because there is like another uh, client. Maybe that this is the issue because this I want to delete this file, by the way, because we already have a new one that is this one that is client. And let's go to set approval for all. Okay, and the control address is actually true. Set approval for all. And let's see if this is called by any uh, any component. It's not this one. And here, actually, it's the same. To NFT approval. Okay, so it's calling a blockchain client that I think is importing from to the great file. It's approving this. It's approval for all. Okay, set approval for all is this function, and this function is being called by. Okay, cool. Okay, just using this as a context. Okay, there is a lot of to the book here, but this is the thing. All the time, you should improve. You should debug. You using the self AI, and okay, I will let it at this moment. But as you can see, we already completed and deployed successfully the two smart contracts. The first smart contract of this private NFT, and the second one is actually the marketplace. As you can see, it was working because we're already listed, and we can see all the get a listing of the NFTs. You can also work with REPL.it. You can also create your own UI and create your own client to call and to interact with the smart contracts, just executing um, the smart contract itself. So let's say that we already created our client. The thing is that was not executing at all those functions and the UI as we expected. But I have some more tips. If you have any questions, just drop into the YouTube comments. Um, I will write here like some UI tools that I can also give you as advice to create your own front-end project. The first of all is REPL.it. As you can see, REPL.it is powerful. The other thing is that it takes a lot of time to create the UI, comparing with other AI tools. Um, I will I will write another AI tool that you can use it for UI stuff and also to create some clients calling smart contract. VCR is also too powerful. Blah 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 is so cool. It's also take a lot of time to create uh, the UI too. And also is the other one is, oh, I forget it. No worries. Also, you can see Lovable V series working actually working with Next.js and with Tailwind, something that is so cool. And as Replit, and that's it. With Replits, also you can work with other frameworks because there are a lot of templates about that. Like maybe if you like Angular, if you like maybe Nuxt, or maybe Vue or whatever on the other framework that you like. Replit has those frameworks that you can use it for UI stuff and also to create some clients. So okay, cool. I don't know if you have any other words to say, Percival and Robert, before we end this live stream.
Oh yes, we had made a live stream a few months ago about using Replit to connect with code eaters. It might be useful for whoever is watching this video. Go back to that first video and check other tips on how connecting Replit with code eaters JS, so the code can connect to the backend smart contracts.
Yeah, yeah, great. Great. Look.
Yeah, and that was actually before we also started trying out MCP as well. So if you're generating with other engines as well, that it might have become easier, let's say, since then.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, we did not expect like the UI calling this UI calling to the client correctly, but you can also improve. The time is end for us for this live stream, but if you keep working, if you keep improving your own prompts and your own AI tool just to receive what you're expecting, you will get it. Um, yes, it takes some time, but this is how about coding live it is. That's it. That's it. So I will publish this result to the internet and I will share you into the description of this live stream YouTube video. As the result as we expected into this live stream, but no worries, all this happens all the time. So thank you so much. I think the 20th of January, the next Friday, we have another live stream, isn't it, Robert?
That is Upendra, who will take us through building a private donations contract with Cody.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Same time, same place, in 2 days.
So, thank you, Robert. So thank you so much for you all. Keep working and hashtag stay Cody. Bye bye. See you.
Stay Cody.
Stay Cody.